Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and today we're going to learn how to form negative sentences in Finnish. This video is split into 12 chapters. First we're going to learn how to say in Finnish I don't, I didn't, I haven't, I hadn't, I don't have to, I neither nor, I wouldn't, I have never or I had never, don't, the negative imperative form, and also how to say I probably don't. At the end of each chapter, I'll also show the full conjugation so you can see how the negations work for all the pronouns. And at the end of this video, we will as always practice what we've learned today by solving some exercises together. So let's get started. Let's begin with chapter 1, how to say I don't in Finnish. Minä en puhu ranskaa means I don't speak French. Let's go step by step. Minä en puhu means I don't speak. It's the first person singular negative present tense of puhua, which means to speak. And ranskaa here is standing in the partitive case, meaning French. Here we use the partitive case because it's a negative sentence. Let's repeat again. Minä en puhu ranskaa. I don't speak French. Next one, another structure. Hän ei osaa soittaa pianoa means he or she doesn't know how to play the piano. Let's go step by step. Hän ei osaa soittaa means he or she doesn't know how to play. Our main verb here is osata, which means can in the sense of knowing how to. Here it's standing in the third person negative present tense, followed by soittaa, which means to play, standing here in its infinitive form. Why do we use the infinitive form here? Because of the osata plus infinitive verb structure. And then we have pianoa, which is the partitive case of piano. Why partitive case? Because it's a negative sentence. Let's repeat again. Hän ei osaa soittaa pianoa means he or she doesn't know how to play the piano. Now, let's take a look at the full conjugations so you can see how the negation works for all the pronouns. As an example verb, we take puhua, which means to speak. So, minä en puhu means I don't speak. Sinä et puhu means you don't speak. Hän ei puhu means he or she doesn't speak. Me emme puhu means we don't speak. Te ette puhu means you don't speak plural. And he eivät puhu means they don't speak. Now let's move on to chapter 2. Here we are going to learn how to say I didn't. Here's our first example. En nukkunut viime yönä means I didn't sleep last night. Let's go step by step. En nukkunut is the first person singular negative past tense of nukkua, which means to sleep, and viime yönä means last night. Let's repeat again. En nukkunut viime yönä means I didn't sleep last night. Next one. Jussi ei mennyt kirjastoon tänään means Jussi didn't go to the library today. Let's go step by step. Jussi ei mennyt means Jussi didn't go. Ei mennyt is the third person singular negative past tense of the verb mennä, which means to go. Kirjastoon is the illative case of kirjasto, which means library, and tänään means today. So let's repeat again. Jussi ei mennyt kirjastoon tänään. Jussi didn't go to the library today. Let's have one more example. He eivät halunneet matkustaa autolla means they didn't want to travel by car. Let's go step by step. He eivät halunneet here is the third person plural negative past tense of the verb haluta, which means to want. Then we have matkustaa, which means to travel, standing here in its infinitive form. Why? Because of the haluta plus infinitive structure. And then we also have autolla, which means by car. It's the adjective case of auto. Now let's repeat again. He eivät halunneet matkustaa autolla. They didn't want to travel by car. Now let's take a quick look again at the conjugations for all the pronouns in the negative past tense. Again, our verb is puhua. Minä en puhunut means I didn't speak. Sinä et puhunut means you didn't speak. Hän ei puhunut means he didn't speak. Now carefully. Me emme puhuneet means we didn't speak. Te ette puhuneet means you didn't speak plural. and he eivät puhuneet means they didn't speak. Alright, now let's move on with chapter 3, how to say I haven't in Finnish. Here's our first example. En ole käynyt Australiassa means I haven't been to Australia. Let's go step by step. En ole käynyt is the first person singular negative perfect tense of käydä. So en ole käynyt means I haven't been or I haven't visited. Then we have Australiassa, which is the inessive case of Australia, Australia in English. Here we use the inessive case because of the verb käydä. Remember the rule, käydä plus inessive case. So let's repeat again. En ole käynyt Australiassa. I haven't been to Australia. Next one. Me emme ole tavanneet pitkään aikaan means we haven't met in a long time. Let's go step by step. Me emme ole tavanneet means we haven't met. It's the first person plural negative perfect tense of tavata, which means to meet, and pitkään aikaan means in a long time or for a long time. So let's repeat again. Me emme ole tavanneet pitkään aikaan. We haven't met in a long time. Also here, again, let's take a quick look at the conjugations. Minä en ole puhunut means I haven't spoken. Sinä et ole puhunut means you haven't spoken. Hän ei ole puhunut means he or she hasn't spoken. Now the plural forms. Me emme ole puhuneet means we haven't spoken. Te ette ole puhuneet means you haven't spoken plural. And he eivät ole puhuneet means they haven't spoken. Now let's move on to chapter 4. I hadn't in Finnish. For example, en ollut asunut Suomessa ennen kuin muutin Helsinkiin means I hadn't lived in Finland before I moved to Helsinki. Let's go step by step. En ollut asunut means I hadn't lived. It's the first person singular negative pluperfect tense of asua, which means to live. Suomessa means in Finland. It's the inessive case of Suomi, which means Finland. Ennen kuin means before. Muutin is the first person singular past tense of muuttaa, which means to move. So muutin means I moved, and Helsinkiin means to Helsinki, standing here in the illative case. Remember again, we use the pluperfect when we want to describe a situation where an action happened before another action in the past. So let's repeat again. En ollut asunut Suomessa ennen kuin muutin Helsinkiin. I hadn't lived in Finland before I moved to Helsinki. Now let's take again a look at the conjugations. Minä en ollut puhunut means I hadn't spoken. Sinä et ollut puhunut means you hadn't spoken. Hän ei ollut puhunut means he or she hadn't spoken. Me emme olleet puhuneet means we hadn't spoken. Te ette olleet puhuneet means you hadn't spoken plural. And he eivät olleet puhuneet means they hadn't spoken. Nice. Now chapter 5. How to say I don't have in Finnish. For example, minulla ei ole poikaystävää means I don't have a boyfriend. Let's go step by step. Minulla ei ole means I don't have, and poikaystävää means boyfriend standing here in the partitive case. Why? Because we have a negative sentence here. Let's repeat again. Minulla ei ole poikaystävää. I don't have a boyfriend. One more. He haluavat mennä pubiin, mutta heillä ei ole aikaa means they wanna go to the pub, but they don't have time. Let's go step by step. He haluavat mennä means they want to go. Here we have the haluta plus infinitive verb structure. Pubiin is the illative case of pubi, which means pub. Mutta means but. And heillä ei ole aikaa means they don't have time. So let's repeat again. He haluavat mennä pubiin, mutta heillä ei ole aikaa. They wanna go to the pub, but they don't have time. Now also here let's again take a quick look at all the forms. Minulla ei ole means I don't have. Sinulla ei ole means you don't have. Hänellä ei ole means he or she doesn't have. Meillä ei ole means we don't have. Teillä ei ole means you don't have plural. And heillä ei ole means they don't have. Now chapter 6, how to say I don't have to in Finnish. For example, Mikon ei tarvitse tulla niin aikaisin means Mikko doesn't have to come so early. Let's go step by step. Mikon ei tarvitse means Mikko doesn't have to. Remember the structure for the negative ones? Person in a genitive case plus ei tarvitse plus infinitive verb. That's why Mikon ei tarvitse tulla means Mikko doesn't have to come. Niin means so and aikaisin means early. Let's repeat again. Mikon ei tarvitse tulla niin aikaisin. Mikko doesn't have to come so early. Next one. Huomenna minun ei tarvitse herättää kovin aikaisin means tomorrow I don't need to wake up very early. Let's go step by step. Huomenna means tomorrow. Minun ei tarvitse means I don't have to. So minun ei tarvitse herättää means I don't have to wake up. Kovin here can be translated as very and aikaisin again means early. Huomenna minun ei tarvitse herättää kovin aikaisin. Tomorrow I don't have to wake up very early. One more. Meidän ei tarvitse odottaa means we don't need to wait. Meidän ei tarvitse means we don't have to or we don't need to. First person plural and odottaa means to wait. Again, person in a genitive case plus ei tarvitse plus infinitive. Meidän ei tarvitse odottaa. We don't have to wait. Now again all the forms. Minun ei tarvitse. I don't have to. Sinun ei tarvitse. You don't have to. Hänen ei tarvitse. He or she doesn't have to. Meidän ei tarvitse. We don't have to. Teidän ei tarvitse. You don't have to, plural. And heidän ei tarvitse means they don't have to. Now let's move on to our next chapter, number 7. How to say neither nor in Finnish. For example, Eva ei puhu saksaa eikä ruotsia means Eva neither speaks German nor Swedish. Let's go step by step. Eva ei puhu means Eva doesn't speak saksa, German, eikä nor ruotsia, Swedish. So as you see, the languages German and Swedish do stand here in the partitive case. And eikä, by the way, is a combination of ja plus a and means and not. So let's repeat again. Eva ei puhu saksaa eikä ruotsia. Eva neither speaks German nor Swedish. Next. En ole suomalainen enkä saksalainen. Olen norjalainen means I'm neither Finnish nor German, I'm Norwegian. So why do we have here enkä and not eikä? This is because eikä changes according to the person. Enkä is a combination of ja plus en. So here we say enkä because of the personal pronoun minä. Let's repeat again. En ole suomalainen enkä saksalainen, olen norjalainen. I'm neither Finnish nor German, I'm Norwegian. One more. Heillä ei ole koiraa eikä kissaa means they neither have a dog nor a cat. Let's go step by step. Heillä ei ole means they don't have. Koiraa is the partitive case of koira, which means dog. Eikä here can be understood as nor. It's a combination of ja plus a, and kissa here means cat, standing here in the partitive case. Let's repeat again. Heillä ei ole koiraa eikä kissaa. They neither have a dog nor a cat. Also here let's go through all the forms. Enkä is a combination of ja plus n. Etkä is a combination of ja plus et. Eikä is a combination of ja plus a. Emmekä is a combination of ja plus emme. Ettekä is a combination of ja plus ette. and eivätkä is a combination of ja plus eivät. Nice! Now we move on to our next chapter, which is number 8. Here we are going to learn how to say I wouldn't in Finnish. For example, en haluaisi lähteä museoon. Menisin mieluummin kirjastoon. I wouldn't like to go to the museum. I'd rather go to the library. Let's go step by step. En haluaisi lähteä means I wouldn't like to go. This is the negative conditional form. Here, by the way, again we have the haluta plus infinitive structure. Museon is the ilative case of museo, which means museum. Menisin means I would go. It's the first person singular conditional form of mennä, which means to go. Mieluummin means rather, it's an adverb. And kirjaston is the ilative case of kirjasto, meaning library. So interesting for us is here en haluaisi lähteä, which means I wouldn't like to go. Let's repeat again. En haluaisi lähteä museoon. Menisin mieluummin kirjastoon. I wouldn't like to go to the museum. I'd rather go to the library. One more, something I often say about northern summers. Tällaisena valoisana yönä et haluaisi nukkua means on a bright night like this, you wouldn't want to sleep. Let's go step by step. Tällaisena is the active case of tällainen, which means this kind of or like this. Valoisana is the active case of valoisa, which means bright. Yönä is of course also the active case of yö, which means night. Et haluaisi nukkua means you wouldn't want to sleep. It's the negative conditional of haluta plus the second verb, which is nukkua, standing in its infinitive form. Let's repeat again. Tällaisena valoisana yönä et haluaisi nukkua. On a bright night like this, you wouldn't want to sleep. Now let's take again a quick look at the negative conditional forms. Minä en puhuisi means I wouldn't speak. Sinä et puhuisi means you wouldn't speak. Hän ei puhuisi means he or she wouldn't speak. Me emme puhuisi means we wouldn't speak. Te ette puhuisi means you wouldn't speak, plural. And he eivät puhuisi means they wouldn't speak. Alright, now let's move on to chapter 9, how to say I have never in Finnish. For example, en ole koskaan käynyt Espanjassa means I have never been to Spain. So let's go step by step. En ole koskaan käynyt means I have never been. The basic verb here again is käydä. And Espanjassa here is the inactive case of España, which means Spain. Here we use the inactive case because of the verb käydä. Let's repeat again. En ole koskaan käynyt Espanjassa. I have never been to Spain. Next one. En ole koskaan kadehtinut ketään means I have never envied anyone. Let's go step by step. En ole koskaan kadehtinut means I have never envied. The basic verb here is kadehtia, and ketään here is the partitive case of kukaan, which means anyone. Again, here we use the partitive case because we have a negative sentence. So let's repeat again. En ole koskaan kadehtinut ketään. I have never envied anyone. One more, we can for example also say I had never been or they had never been. We can use the pluperfect tense here as well. For example, he eivät olleet koskaan aikaisemmin käyneet täällä means they had never been here before. Let's go step by step. He eivät olleet käyneet means they had not been, but when we add koskaan to it, then the meaning changes to they had never been. Aikaisemmin means earlier or before, and täällä means here. So let's repeat again. He eivät olleet koskaan aikaisemmin käyneet täällä. They had never been here before. Now, chapter number 10. The negative imperative. For example, älä mennä means don't go. This is something we can say to one person. And älkää menkö means don't go, but to multiple people, or it can be also used politely. Here's our first example. Älä häiritse means don't disturb. This is something we say to one person. Our basic verb is häiritä, which means to disturb. This one we put into its first person singular present tense, which is häiritsen. Then we just have to remove the n ending and we get häiritse. This is the form we're looking for. Älä häiritse. Don't disturb. Älkää lähtekö kotiin vielä means don't go home yet. So how do we get lähtekö here? Well, our main verb is lähte, which means to leave or to go. So first we have to take the stem of the verb lähte, which we get by dropping the final ä. So that means lähte changes to lähte, and then we just have to add go. So that means lähte plus go gives us lähtekö. Here it's also important for you to know that this go or go here is not the same as the question marker go or go, even though it looks identical. In this case, it's just part of the verb ending for the negative imperative plural. So let's repeat again. Älkää lähtekö kotiin vielä. Don't go home yet. Now chapter 11, how to say I probably don't in Finnish. This is the so-called negative potential mood, which we use in order to express that something is likely to happen. So here's our first example. Sinä et tarvinnää tätä tietokonetta enää means you probably don't need this computer anymore. Let's go step by step. Sinä et tarvinnää means you probably don't need. Tätä tietokonetta means this computer. It's the partitive case of tämä tietokone. Tämä means this and tietokone means computer and enää means anymore or no longer. So let's repeat again. Sinä et tarvinnää tätä tietokonetta enää. You probably don't need this computer anymore. One more. Hän ei halunne tulla mukaan means he or she probably doesn't want to come with. Let's go step by step. Hän ei halunne tulla means he or she probably doesn't want to come, and mukaan means with or along with. Again, here we use the potential mood in order to express something likely or possible. Let's repeat again. Hän ei halunne tulla mukaan. He or she probably doesn't want to come with. Nice! Now the conjugations. Our example verb is puhua, which means to speak. Minä en puhune means I probably don't speak. Sinä et puhune means you probably don't speak. Hän ei puhune means he or she probably doesn't speak. Me emme puhune means we probably don't speak. Te ette puhune means you probably don't speak. And he eivät puhune means they probably don't speak. Nice! Now the exercises. Here's our first one. Fill in the gap. We want to say he or she doesn't know how to play the piano. Hän, pianoa. What do we have to fill in? That's right, the answer is hän ei osaa soittaa pianoa. He or she doesn't know how to play the piano. Next one, we wanna say I didn't sleep last night. Viime yönä. What do we need to fill in? Excellent. The answer is en nukkunut viime yönä. I didn't sleep last night. Do we want to try together the plural form? How do you say in Finnish? They didn't want to travel by car. Matkustaa autolla. What do we need here? Here's a hint. You need the third person plural negative past tense of haluta. Excellent. The answer is he eivät halunneet matkustaa autolla. They didn't want to travel by car. Alright, next one. We wanna say we haven't met in a long time. Pitkään aikaan. Hint. Here we need the first person plural negative perfect tense of tavata. That's right. Me emme ole tavanneet pitkään aikaan. We haven't met in a long time. Next one. We wanna say I hadn't lived in Finland before I moved to Helsinki. Suomessa ennen kuin Helsinkiin. Hint. Here you will need the negative pluperfect tense and the negative past tense. Perfect. The answer is en ollut asunut Suomessa ennen kuin muutin Helsinkiin. I had lived in Finland before I moved to Helsinki. Next one. We want to say they want to go to the pub, but they don't have time. He haluavat mennä pubiin, mutta how do you say they don't have time? Excellent. The answer is heillä ei ole aikaa. He haluavat mennä pubiin, mutta heillä ei ole aikaa. They want to go to the pub, but they don't have time. Next one. We wanna say Mikko doesn't have to come so early. Tulla niin aikaisin. What do we need here? Excellent. The answer is Mikon ei tarvitse tulla niin aikaisin. Next one. We wanna say they neither have a dog nor a cat. Can you translate this sentence? Very good. The answer is heillä ei ole koiraa eikä kissaa. They neither have a dog nor a cat. Next one. We wanna say I wouldn't like to go to the museum. I'd rather go to the library. Lähteä museoon. Mieluummin kirjastoon. Hint, for the first one, you need the first person singular negative conditional form of haluta, and for the second one, you need the first person singular positive conditional form of mennä. Excellent. The answer is en haluaisi lähteä museoon, menisin mieluummin kirjastoon. I wouldn't like to go to the museum. I'd rather go to the library. Next one. Translate. How do you say in Finnish, I have never been to Spain? That's right. The answer is en ole koskaan käynyt Espanjassa. I have never been to Spain. Next one. Imperative. Translate. Don't go. How do you say that? Perfect. The answer is älä mennä and älkää menkö. And our last one, how do you say you probably don't need this computer anymore? Tätä tietokonetta enää. What do we need here? Hint, here we need the second person singular negative potential mood of the verb tarvita. Excellent. The answer is sinä et tarvinne tätä tietokonetta enää. You probably don't need this computer anymore. So yeah, that's it for today. If you want to learn more Finnish, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.